Ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs, welcome to the CODAHOLIC podcast. This is going to be the first episode of hopefully many episodes to come. This is a podcast that I've made, I came up with a name. Actually, somebody came up with a name, I should correct myself. Somebody came up with a name in a Mob of the Dead stream I did a few days ago, and I thought it was a really good name, the CODAHOLIC podcast. But the reason, as you can see on screen, it's called the PP podcast is one, little bit humorous there. I'm immature and my humour is very subjective, but also CODAHOLIC podcast PP, I thought the abbreviated version was better, but the technical name for this podcast is the CODAHOLIC podcast. Now, for the first episode of this podcast, I'm actually going to be joined by a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hello guys, my name's Nathan, aka Vanced. I am a fellow YouTuber. I've made many videos on CODAHOLIC and my own channel, and I basically do zombies videos just like Matt here, and I like zombies. That's all my channel really entails. And if you are going over to subscribe, soon enough I will be doing a retrospective of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies, scripted and probably not as bad as my regular videos, but probably just as bad, most likely, hopefully.
So things I want to go on about with this podcast, just obviously this being the first episode, is I wanted to go on about a few things that I'm going to try to do with this podcast. One of which, like you've just heard with Nathan there, is I want to get a guest on every single time. So I've got Nathan here, and I'm going to try to get a few other guests for the next episodes. There may be some episodes where I go solo for this podcast, just because I've not found anyone, because unfortunately I don't have many friends, but I'm going to try to get a guest on every week on this podcast, and I want it to be live in the future, so people, can comment, say a load of nice things, probably say a load of horrible things as well, but it could be like a Q&A with a podcast. I thought that'd be really cool. And obviously most people do live podcasts, but there's a lot of people who don't. And I thought for the first episode, let's keep it simple, let's record it, but I want this to be live in the future. So Nathan, how's it going? How does it feel to be the first episode, or to be on the first episode, I should say, of my podcast?
Yes. It feels like an honor. I feel so blessed to be picked first, and all I want to say is, fuck you, Toby, I won. Fuck you, I'm the first guest.
Little backstory, Toby was meant to be a guest, my boy Sawtooth, but I chose Nathan instead, okay? I've spoke to Nathan a lot, so Nathan, there you go, you're my first guest.
Thanks, babes.
But yeah, how this podcast is going to work is I'm going to ask a few questions, and then we'll just go off on a tangent and talk about a load of random stuff that nobody probably cares about. But if you want to watch the entire thing, then go ahead, I guess. So, Nathan.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question here. And this is going to be the first technical, I can't even speak, the technical topic of this podcast, which is, do you think gobblegums are OP in zombies? Just simple yes or no, and you can go on about describing it if you want to.
Can I get the question again? You wiped it from my memory. Are gobblegums OP? Is that what you're asking?
Exactly that, yes.
Yeah, all right. Okay, just making sure. No, they are not. Personally,
is there a reason for this? A reason you don't think they're OP?
I've made a video on this just before, or actually just after the Zombies Chronicles came out, like 2 days after. I made a video about this. And personally, I don't find gobblegums OP, just for the simple fact that you have the option not to use them, and they don't, take away from any gameplay. They just make gameplay easier, and if you want more of a challenge, don't use gobblegums. And also, the limit to a high round is 250. I believe you cannot get past 250. It's an infinite round. It never changes. So if you're good enough to get up to around 250, which there are people who've done it in Black Ops 1 and all those, if you're able to get up to 250 without using any gobblegums, and then there's people that do use gobblegums and get up to 250, I think you're a little bit better. And it doesn't hinder, because the round that you, what am I trying to say? The highest round you can get to is the only highest round anybody can get to. Nobody can get past that round. So everybody's on the same playing field. Either you're not as good as at zombies, so you use gobblegums, or you're the best fucking zombies player and you get up to 250 without any gobblegums. It really just depends on how good you are, and I don't think they're overpowered. That was way too complicated. I started way too much. I apologize, Matt. What is your opinion? I shouldn't be dictating this, but go on.
Well, my opinion on this is I agree with you in some aspects, not in others. Like, I never actually knew, I wanted to quickly go on about, I never actually knew that 250 was the max round. I thought you could get higher than that. I know games crash and stuff like that, but I never knew. I know on World at War you can get much higher than 250, but I never knew on Black Ops 3.
It's 200. It could be 255, but I believe it's 250.
That's pretty odd. I've never been up to there. I think my highest round. Well, I know it's 114, but I mean, that's odd. I never knew that. But yeah, my take on Gobblegums is they're OP and not OP. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. You don't have to use them if you want to go back to the old style of Call of Duty, which in my opinion is the way it should be played. Then you don't have to use Gobblegums. There's no reason to use Gobblegums. But I'm kind of being a hypocrite here, but the reason to use Gobblegums is to be on leaderboards if you want to get higher on leaderboards. And of course you've got, like, you know, Zombies World leaderboards and stuff like that online where you can, you know, do no Gobblegums, stuff like that. But for Gobblegums, you kind of need them to be anywhere close to the top on zombies, unless it just takes longer. So let's say Kino, for example, you could basically do the same strats, but you could have like the raindrops, you can get a free death machine, you can have alchemical, and it just, you know, helps that. Obviously classic Gobblegums don't cost that much, so you can't really say they're OP, you just have to rank up, which I think's fair. I think classic Gobblegums 100% fair. But then you've got Perkaholic, which on my new account I've only got one, where you've got people like Noah and YouTubers like that, which have got like 134-ish, like just a lot, and they're going to have a better chance of getting to a high round than me, I feel, or at least setting up, just because they get all the perks round one, where I'm going to have to grind and grind. But obviously, we have different takes on that. So me, I'm like, they're OP, leaderboards and stuff, you need Gobblegums for high rounds and stuff if you want to get to the best. But if you're doing it your own personal way, you're not trying to go for leaderboards, you're not trying to, you know, be the best. And technically, if you get to the same round as somebody who uses Gobblegums, I would consider you better. If you got to 150, somebody else did. You didn't use Gobblegums, I would consider you better. But yeah, I do think Call of Duty should not have Gobblegums in, but I know they're not going to take them out anytime soon because of money. And in the next World War II, I believe it's called. I know it's called actually, but I know in Call of Duty World War II, they're probably going to have some sort of transaction like this. I don't want them to.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be, whether it starts off as camos, but there'll probably be something like this, just because it makes money. But I don't really agree with Gobblegums, although I'm not too bothered about them being in the game.
Also, with Gobblegums, just using the Gobblegum doesn't negate skill. You can't just pop a Gobblegum and then get to round 150. Well, round robin, but whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like popping a CODAHOLIC. I mean, a Perkaholic. There we go. I can't tell you how many times I've had a Perkaholic and it's gone down like that because I've been like stupid, just like turn around and
the CODAHOLIC Gobblegum. What a Gobblegum that would have been.
Yeah, oh, I love that one. Just gives you ginger hair. Just like one. But it just doesn't give you skill to me. Like, that's why I don't find when people say, oh, the supply drop weapons or the weapon variants in Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, they're just too OP. Not really. Like, and with the M16 as well, just because the gun is very powerful doesn't mean if you put the controller in the hands of a toddler, they're going to be the best person in that lobby. It just really depends on how good that player is, and if that gun is overpowered, it's going to be even more overpowered in a really, really good player's hands. And same.
The one thing about that, wait, did you want to continue or?
No, it's fine. I'll finish.
Okay. The only one thing about that is that you went on about a minute ago is like round robin, stuff like that, where you could just keep popping round robin, and because it's 0 each time the Gobblegums, it's easier to get acquire them, I should say. So you could just pop round robin. I think Glitch and Queen and 4 other people got to around 100 on Kino in under 3 hours on 4-player just by using round robins, and they just spammed it. So I think it was like 2 hours 30 minutes, something along those lines. Maybe less. I'm not 100% sure, but I understand that. But I guess
with that, it does take actual skill to stay alive to get those round robins, because you can't just get a round robin every single time you go to the Perkaholic or the fucking Gobblegum machine. You do need to know how to survive on a high round, and you do need to know how to maneuver around zombies, and you do need to do all this stuff. I don't know if they did actually like train and or camp or something like that. I don't know what they actually did to that. But if say you were doing like the normal Kino strategy on the stage,
Yeah.
if you're doing that, you would still need skill even if you were popping round robin. You need skill to stay alive. You can't just sit in the corner, just pop round
Yeah, no,
robin's influence until you get around 100 and like, hey guys, I got to round 100. Oh dude, that's so amazing.
See, on solo, I would agree with you, but what they did, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I'm not sure if you actually know, but they got, because they all had round robin activated, they all had about 90, like, they had a lot of round robins, they all had, there was always a round robin for one round, so, like, Queen would get one, and then somebody else would have one, and they would just keep hitting the gobblegum, all 4 of them each round for 0 points, and because there's 4 of them, the chances of getting round robin, I mean, there was probably like 1 or 2, maybe like 5 odd rounds where they didn't actually skip, but a majority of the time they would have skipped the rounds, which I know what you mean. Obviously, it takes skill to play zombies, and I would agree with that with every other gobblegum besides round robin. I don't know what it is about round robin. I just think that's a stupid idea
allows
for a
you to,
gobblegum.
it just allows you to skip. I think it's more for basically what you do on Shadows of Evil. If you don't know, you can shoot the Shadow Man at the very start of the game and you can possibly get up to round 15 just like out of the gate
Yeah, I
like
know,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think round robin is supposed to do something similar to that, where you can skip rounds and get points for it and just be on this certain round, so you don't basically have to wait and you can do the Easter egg as fast as you can. That's why I think fucking what's it called, fucking
Round
shopping
robin?
free,
Oh, shopping free, okay.
shopping free. I think that's just basically for Easter eggs as well. It's not really for anything. I think both Parkaholic is both for high rounds and for just doing Easter eggs. I think a lot of these gobblegums really revolve around Easter eggs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whatever. I
See,
don't personally find them.
shopping free, I don't find that OP. I don't find shopping free that OP at all. It opens all the map,
No.
yeah, but I mean, I don't find it that OP. Like, comparing it to Pergolic, where you get all the perks instantly, don't have to buy anything, and then comparing it to, round robin, where if you have enough people, or if you just are that lucky, you can skip round after round after round after round. Where you've got shopping free, it's really good, and it should be an ultra rare mega, but it's not as OP. And then you've got stuff like Secret Shopper, Killing Time, which, in my opinion, both of them, they should not be ultra mega rares. They should not be the top, especially Secret Shopper and Head Drama. There's no point for them. I don't know. Like,
You could use shopping free, open all the map, and die instantly. Doesn't mean you open all the map. Doesn't mean you can survive until round 1,000,000. It just makes things faster. That's why we have non-gobblegums and gobblegum leaderboards on what is it?
which I
fucking
like.
website's
I'm glad
called?
somebody did that.
Yeah.
The only annoying thing about that is you have to submit your record, which I guess it doesn't take too long, but it's much easier.
If you don't pause your game, you can just get it from the fucking theater mode. But if you pause your game, it just
Wait, so if you
ruins.
pause your game, it's not in theater mode.
No, it only lasts until you pause your game for some reason. I don't know why.
That's dumb. That's actually dumb. But yeah, so that our opinion on gobblegums. I just put down in the comments if you agree with us or not. I'm assuming you agree with one of us. We both have different opinions on this. Okay, I'm liking it. There's a bit of beef going on, but we have similar opinions as well. So
Can it not be ham? Ham
I'm gonna bring something in. Because we're going on about head drama. You know, free headshots. Don't matter where you kill them, you get a headshot. Pretty useless. And I don't think it kills the zombies faster. I mean, maybe it does. Actually, no, yes it does. But I mean, it's still pretty useless. But when I was thinking of that headshot gobblegum, I thought Deadshot. Now I'm going to quickly bring this in. Do you think Deadshot is underrated, overrated, or do you just disinclude it? Because a lot of people are saying, I've seen this with Codename Pizza tweeting out, Toby seems to think it, a lot of people have been saying Deadshot is underrated. How? I don't like, I'm not stupid. I can aim at a zombie's head. I understand for some people it may be difficult, but I mean, for me personally, and for most, this is going to sound horrible, normal people, does that sound a bit, I mean, I know, because obviously if you have reasons in which you can't, but I mean, you know where I'm coming from. There might be reasons in which, but it's just, I don't know, it's just not hard to aim at a zombie's head. I use inverted controls. I can still aim at a zombie's head. I mean, it's not, I don't know, I'm gone off on a tangent, but Deadshot for me It's useless. It's the worst perk in all of zombies. I don't understand why it's there. Worse than Who's Who, worse than Tombstone. I don't understand why it's there. What's your take on that? What's your worst perk in zombies as well?
I feel like Deadshot is personally, for when you're on the high round, you're not thinking about shooting zombies in the head. So basically what Deadshot does is, you know, takes out that whole aspect of, oh, you know, shooting them in the head will make it easier for me on people on high rounds, where you mainly just focus on training the zombies and then killing them. The worst perk, I don't think it's underrated. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's just rated where it should be, where it's...
Where do you think it is? Where do you think it should be?
I think...
I'm putting you on the spot.
I think Mule Kick... Ooh, this is hard.
Mule Kick's pretty bad, to be honest. I agree with you there.
I think... multiplayer, Quick Revive, Mule Kick, Deadshot, and then the rest of the perks in whatever order I'm not listing right now. But I think that's the way it is. I think it's the third worst, not because it's bad necessarily, it's just it's useless. The same way with both the other two. They're not bad, they're just useless. And that's the worst thing you can do if you're a perk.
I mean,
just be useless.
Yeah, Mule Kick is pretty useless. I mean, I can't think of one map where I'd actually use Mule Kick over like Speed Cola, Double Tap Widow, stuff like that. I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know. It's like with PhD. PhD. I don't know what it is about it. I love the perk, my favorite perk, but it's useless. I've got to be honest. It's just
no. It's not. If you
don't think so.
No, most like the Mustang and Sally are probably one of the strongest weapons in Call of Duty. And if you have PhD and you're not taking splash damage, that is the best thing. Because if you're in a corner and you don't have your thunder gun out and you're just running with your Mustang and Sally, and you don't have enough time to take your thunder gun out, you can just spray it on the ground, and you'll be completely fine, and you won't take any splash damage. And if you do that without, obviously, if you did it without PhD, you just go down instantly. Like, I think it's one of the most useful perks. But obviously, I'm fine with it not being in zombies anymore. But it's not useless. It has a good use.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, for me, the problem with the Mustang SL is I've told you this before, but the whole community has an erection over this gun. It's the gun that. It's definitely overhyped. I love the gun. My favourite weapon in all of zombies, just because of the hype around it and stuff. But I don't normally use it, and this is just because of the ammo. There's hardly any ammo, so I feel like the point of using it. I mean, the only gun I would actually use for PhD is the ray gun. If I'm going to be honest, the Mustang and Sally if I'm going for a cool, like, you know, a chill game. But if I'm going for a high round attempt or an Easter egg, I would never use the Mustang and Sally's.
I think that's the reason why we need PhD, because we don't use the Mustang and Sally anymore, and the reason I don't use it because it always gets me down. Like, just I mainly use the Mustang and Sally for. But that, I'm not gonna get that one every single round, and then two, I'm gonna have to go back the next round just to get it, and I might not even get it again. Like, I want a permanent thing, PhD, just to make sure I don't die from splash damage. I think that's all I want. I just want, like, why didn't they incorporate that into Widow's Wine? Just fucking, it's annoying. I want to use Mustang and Sally. Jug.
Thank you. Everyone's been saying recently Widow's Wine's better than Jug. How is Widow's Wine better than Jug? I don't understand. Widow's Wine is good. Maybe second, maybe a bit behind, but it's definitely one of the best perks.
Because Widow's Wine does give you, what is it, 4 hits?
Yeah.
And then the extra 3, which is 7, actually. But Juggernog, you get those 4 hits, and if you don't pick up another thing, they're gone forever, and you're back to the 3-hit system.
Yeah.
But with Juggernog, you get hit 4 times, you still have, 2 more hits. Which, yeah, I can see, but the worst thing about Widow's Wine is, one, when you're trying to hold the zombie and you get hit and you don't throw your grenades, it's going to kill the zombie. And also, when you're in a train and somebody hits you, or one of the zombies hits you, it ruins the train, because you can't come back, because by the time you'll come back in that train, all the zombies will get unstuck and then start running after you, and you'll die, and it's fucking annoying. Like, that's probably why Widow's Wine is number 2, just for those 2 simple facts. That's why I think Jug is the best.
Yeah, for me, like, I think of it as in, think of any classic Gobblegum game, what about any classic video game, like GTA, maybe like any Zelda, like just any classic game. Just think of a game you've played. I would say Juggernog is your health, like straight up, it just, like, it's like a health potion maybe. You're losing health, you get Jug. I mean, it's not similar, but then what I'm trying to say in this way is Widow's Wine is like a shield. Like,
Yeah.
all these games with shield, it's like a shield where it protects you, but it can run out. It's like I said, I'm not sure if have you ever played GTA where you can pick up a shield and then it runs out. I mean, there's a lot of other games where that happens, and you've probably played a game where that happens before. But that's the first thing that comes into my head when
I would think it would be very similar to your analogy to Zelda. Juggernog is like the heart pieces. You get the heart and you get a bit more health, and then Widow's Wine is like a shield. It's like the shield.
Exactly that. Yeah, it protects you, but it doesn't make your health increase. You're still taking the same amount of hits at the end of the day. It doesn't improve you. But Jug, on the other hand, does improve how much health you have. It would be like a health upgrade, Jug, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's fine. So let's go on to topic technically number 2 that I wrote down here. But we'll class the perk topic as one as well. But I just want you to do this, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to remember them or not. What are your top 5 favourite maps? Go from number 1, number 5, just top 5 favourite maps.
When we were recording the video, that'll probably be out before this podcast, or maybe after. Me, Majaricon, Jared, and Miniman, or me, Miniman, Majaricon, and Jared, or whatever his YouTube handle is. I don't know if he uploads. We did a video where we took Mr. T-Laxify video idea and where he ranked the zombie maps from worst to best. Other people have done it before as well. But we did that, and in that video, I had this top 5. And now I don't really feel like it's my top 5 anymore, just mainly Gora Crovy. I was watching a retrospective of Zombies by Junior Rizzo or JR Rizzo. Yeah. And his opinions on Gora Crovy, he thinks it's the worst map out of Black Ops 3. And the reasons he said were the fire and the dragons, dragon's breath and stuff like that, and the fact that the Valkyrie drones and the manglers spawn in way too much, which I can't remember if they do or not, but I never really thought about the fire or the fire and the dragons that much, and it's kind of just ruined my opinion on the map. I don't think it's as good as it is anymore.
Yeah, go on, continue.
I don't know. So my original top 5 was... I'll pull it up now. You can say what you're about to say. I'll just pull it up.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is that Gora Crovy, for me, second worst map in Black Ops 3. I was going to say jumping on it, but I'm not jumping. I'm jumping on the opposite of a bandwagon. I think the Gora Crovy is a bandwagon that everyone jumps on. Zetsubunoshima, I think, is worse. I don't really class the Giant as a Black Ops 3 map, to be honest. But... I don't know, it's just the second worst. I prefer... Shadows is right up there for me. Horizon Jack, right up there, my best in Black Ops 3. Shadows is second. Third would be... What would it be? I can't think of... what's DLC? Actually, no. Correct. I'm correcting myself here. Gora Crovy's the third worst. I despise Revelations. Revelations actually put down on my list as 17th. I do not like Revelations.
Jesus.
It's just... It's not original, in my opinion. But yeah, go with your top 5.
I'm waiting for it. Is this just Black Ops 3 or is this of all time?
Of all time, yeah, of all time. I've just gone about my Black Ops 3 because Gora Crovy's in. Where did I put Gora Crovy on my list? 14th. That's how much I don't like the map. 14th. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it, but...
Respawn! Sorry. There we go. I can't get down to my top 5. There we go. Alright, my top 5. Shadows of Evil, Call of the Dead, Gora Crovy, Horizon Draka, Origins. I'll go into them now in a second, but I don't know. I think Gora Crovy I would probably put up at number 5, and then put Shadows at 4, Call of Dead at 3, Horizon Draka still at 2, and Origins at 1. I think Origins is the most perfect map. I don't think if you were to change anything in Origins, I don't think it would be as good. Even like the mud and all this stuff, I think it's probably the most perfect. It's not my favorite map, but I think it is the most perfect map, with the staffs, with the characters just absolutely being amazing. I love the Easter egg in that map, even though I haven't completed it yet. I still love it. I, even though there is a lack of training spots, I still think you can get by on training in some areas. I love the look of the map. I love the the insides like being all like dingy and shit, and then the trenches look absolutely gory and amazing, and then the excavation site looks amazing as well, and
Yeah.
the the crazy place is probably one of the most beautiful places in Zombies, in my opinion. Which sounds weird to call somewhere in Zombies beautiful.
When it's called crazy as well.
Yeah, and it's called crazy. The Horizon Draka, I think, is probably the second most almost perfect map that you have. I can't really see anything being changed in the Horizon Draka at all. Like, I can't imagine maybe the Void Bow and the steps towards getting the Fire Bow. I think they could be tweaked a little bit.
Yep.
That's really it. That's all I can think of to change the Horizon Draka. I think it's probably the second most perfect map. I think Shadows of Evil is actually probably the most perfect map. Like, I think it has great trading spots. I think it has a great concept, great characters. I feel it has, at first, it had one of the worst setups ever. But now
Yep.
I think it's probably one of the best, and I enjoy doing it. And I don't really think about doing it. It's just something I do. And I love the enemies. I don't think that the flying things and the meatballs
Yeah.
affect you at all, so they're not really much of an annoyance. The Margwas are a good challenge. I enjoy them, except when like 2 or 3 of them come in, and then I'm like, fucking hell, calm down. Call of the Dead, I think, is the most fun layout map ever, and I love George. I don't understand how anybody can really be annoyed by George. I feel it works. George works. He's not too annoying. You can get rid of him easily. Like, you can buy an AK-74U at round 5 and kill him by round 7. Like, he'd be gone, and then you'll have the Wonder Off from round 7.
Yeah.
It's very easy to kill
The
him.
90-second wonder off.
Yeah. Oh no, it lasts forever until you run out of ammo. And then,
Oh, it does actually?
Yeah. I
What am
remember
I
just
thinking of then? I thought it was 90 seconds.
that was the 90-second death machine on Ascension and on Moon. That was the
Maybe that, but that's probably it then, yeah. Yeah, okay.
And Gora Krovi, like I said, I think my opinion's changed on it. Like, just the aspect of no good training spots and fire just kind of like damaged my opinion on the map. And I don't know what I would replace Gora Krovi with on my top 5. On number 6, I have Mob of the Dead. I'll probably replace with that.
I have Mob of the Dead there as well. Mob of the Dead for me, I hate it. Don't know why it's 6. Don't know why.
Really? Oh, that's surprising to me.
Mob of the Dead, the only reason I put it 6th is because... I'm sorry I interrupted you, but the only reason I put it 6th is because of the fact of the storyline. I love the storyline. It's implementation. I can't even say that word. I'm just going to skip it. But the things it adds, I'll say, into Zombies. Because when I'm on the spot, I can't say words. But yeah, Mob of the Dead, I love the storyline aspects to it. But gameplay-wise, I think the design is... shit. And... I don't know, it's just something about that map. You get trapped easily. I think the Golden Gate Bridge was a nice little touch, but besides the Golden Gate Bridge, I think it's quite tedious, although it's not the most tedious map, definitely not. It's quite tedious, at least in my opinion. And maybe I've just not played the map enough, but like I said, the amount of times you can get trapped, the lack of buildable, and one thing, the lack of perks. There's hardly any perks in that map. There's Deadshot, there's 5. And then you're going to get the original 4 because not original 4, you've not got a Quick Revive, you've got Electric Cherry instead. But you're not going to get Deadshot, let's be honest, unless you're one of the people who think it's underrated. But, Deadshot, I don't even activate Deadshot, I just run past it once I open the roof, there's no point. Deadshot is a perk which nobody uses, it's always Jug, Double Tap, Electric Cherry, and Speed Code. I nearly forgot the perk name. I don't know. It's something about Mob of the Dead. Like Alcatraz, I want to visit there when I'm older. Alcatraz, I say older. I'm older. I want to visit there at some point in the future, is what I was meant to say.
Yeah.
But because I was meant to be going to America this year, which I didn't. But if I do next year, that's somewhere I'm going. Alcatraz. But so I think it's a good area to focus a map in. I think it's really good. Maybe they could have made the area a bit wider, but I feel like the way they handled it was poor. I feel like they could have definitely, done better work, I'll say. I'm losing words. I'm trying to think of posh words to say, and I'm just losing all my memory here. But
I think
Origins. I mean, Mob of the Dead for me.
I think Origins. Ooh, whisper. I can't really find it tedious. I feel like it's Shadows of Evil, where at first it's very tedious, but once you get to know the map, it's just second nature. Everything is just second nature, and I feel like if every map was like fucking turn on the power and that's it, I wouldn't like it. I even appreciate Zetsubo Nishima for innovative power system, even though it's a shit power system. I think it is innovative, and I do enjoy doing it when I have to do it, but still shit. I don't know. I think once you get the Vitrolic Withering and you have the Hell's Retriever, I think the tight spaces in Mob of the Dead, I don't think they really affect me anymore. And then I think the cafeteria is a great training spot. There's another great training spot. Yeah, the double tap room, that is a good training spot as well.
Really?
And it is. If you don't open the door towards the warden office and just sit down there, it's a good training spot because it's very open.
I've never tried that.
I haven't either, but I know it is a good spot. Right, let's go into your top 5, and then can we go into some of our worst? Don't do like a top 5 worst, but let's do what our least favorite maps are. If that's, I don't want to dictate your podcast, but if you want to.
Exposed. He's trying to do my podcast. The next episode 2, will have Vanced, and it'll have probably Toby or somebody else, and they'll be. He'll be introducing it. There'll be a guest. I'm not going to be nowhere.
You won't even be a part of it. It's just me and Toby.
Yeah, it's just you and the guests. Or just not even a guest, just you. No, it'll be you. I'll be the guest. But yeah, okay. So I'll go in order. I'm sorry, I keep knocking my mic, but I'll go in order of first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and I'm going to try not to explain them too long because obviously I want to get onto the worst.
I went on way too long. I apologize.
You did, okay. Just between me and you, you went pretty long.
I know, I'm sorry.
But yeah, Origins number 1. I didn't really want to put it there. I don't know what it was about Origins. I feel like it's pretty overrated. But then I came down to it. I was thinking in my head. I was like, what's bad about Origins? Couldn't think of one thing. I don't know. Origins for me, besides the fact that I would make the steps for, like you were saying with Dyson Jack, but I'm going to say it with Origins, make the steps to require their staffs a bit easier. I think they're really good steps, shooting down the plane for the fire staff. But there's certain steps, like, I don't know, doing a generator for the fire staff part, I was like, And,
I would say,
just finding the discs.
I'm just going to put this in. I would say relying less on RNG, like with the robots and with the ice and stuff like that. If it relied less on that, I think it would be better. But sorry.
I think with the ice, they should have added it like it comes on, like, say, round 2, round 4. Like, it's always the same, but different rounds, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have been... And then speedruns, and that would have been more fair. But, yeah, Origins, for me, staffs, brilliant, very innovative. The word I'm trying to look for there. Very innovative. I'm not even going to say that word again. I don't know what's wrong with me. I normally say words like this all the time, but there's that. There's no other weapon like that besides Dyson Jack, which came much, much after. So it's innovative. There we go. And then you've got it's unique as well. Very, very similar there. And I don't know, overall, I mean, besides making everything a bit easier, it sounds to be like the soul collecting as well, where the robots stamp down and it just resets. I think that's a bit stupid, or at least make it a bit easier. The amount of souls you have to collect. I know that's only for the Easter egg, but it's little things like that make Origins a bit. But overall, it's a brilliant map. It's one of the biggest, which I'm fine with because they actually added a lot of things in. There's like everywhere you go, there'll be a part for something. There'll either be a generator, there'll either be a shield part, there'll either be the tank. There'll either be a Maxis drone part. It doesn't matter. Wherever you go, there'll be a part or somewhere that something could spawn in that place. Not everywhere has got something unique about it. Not everywhere. Even though the map looks quite the same throughout. It's muddy, it's gritty, it's set in France, the earliest map. But, I don't know, there's something about that map where everywhere you go, you know. Like, if I said, I'm at Generator 5, you know where I am straight away. There's no... Like, if I said I was at Mob of the Dead, I was at a cell. What cell? There's about 1 million cells. But if you were at Mob of the Dead, I mean, not Mob of the Dead Origins, you said you were at a certain place, you're just going to go there straight away. You know it. You memorise the map very clearly because every single place in that map is unique. And that's something I like about it. And also, I mean, I know it's meant to be a dark, gritty map, But I don't know, something about that map just makes it stand out in terms of visuals. Maybe because it was the newest up until Black Ops 3 to be released. Was it? No, Nuketown didn't come out before Origins. No, I think that was before all the DLCs, Nuketown, wasn't it? Maybe I'm wrong in saying that.
That was release day of Black Ops 2.
What, the release day? Really?
Yeah. It was a bonus for getting the special edition.
Like a month or two after.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Bit like the Giant then.
It was released separately like 2 months later.
Maybe that's where I was coming from. I know I got it like maybe after all the DLCs came out. But yeah, that's basically Origins. And then Horizon Jack is number 2. Horizon Jack, I'm not going to go on about that map. Just say that it's unique. Copied a load of things from Origins and Mob of the Dead. It's like Mob of the Dead and Origins combined, in my opinion. And some of the aspects, you know, I'm not a big fan of. I do like the dragons. I think they took that from Mob of the Dead, obviously, the dogs. I think that's very unique, although obviously it's from Mob of the Dead. I still think it's unique in terms of it's a dragon, and, you know, the visuals are stunning as well. But there's not a lot I can go on about that map, because everything I want to say good about that map is good about Origins as well. The visuals, you know, the staffs, technically, the bows and stuff like that. And like I said, the only thing that I would really improve, I don't think I'd really improve.
And the best Easter egg, in my opinion. I really enjoyed doing
the best Easter egg, in my opinion.
Well,
ending
Origins
definitely.
Or Horizon Jack, I think, have some of the best Easter egg.
I hate the Origins Easter egg. I mean, the ending is brilliant. The Horizon Jack ending, definitely. Easter egg wise, putting me on the spot.
You know, going back in time and seeing like Dr. Schuster putting the stuff in the vault, and then you have to go back and enter.
Yeah, I agree with you, honestly. Yeah.
And then blowing up the moon.
Blowing up the moon, yeah, to stop transit. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's now that I think of it, you went back in time, you crashed Dempsey down. That's pretty, you know, I can agree with you that. I think that's honestly the best. I'm trying to think. Zetsubu, definitely not. Gorok Rovi, not a big fan of that either. The best part about Gorok Rovi was in the boss fight, you actually hear the Russian national anthem. That's the best part about that entire Easter egg. When we play Modern Warfare Remastered, I always want to be the USSR, just so I can hear the national anthem. I don't know what it is about that. I'm just addicted. But I used to know it all. Well, most of it at least at one point, like the first 30 seconds. But I digress. But yeah, Horizon Jack, very similar to Origins. Not like I said about the map. Shadows of Evil. See, Shadows of Evil, not one of my favourite in terms to play. I think it gets very repetitive very quickly. But I'm putting it at number 3 just because it's one of the best in my opinion. I think it's, although Horizon Jack I think is better, I think Shadows of Evil is more detailed. It's got a unique pack-a-punch. Tentacle comes out, takes a bit longer for some reason, but it's very, very unique. The parasites, the meatballs, can't remember the actual name of them. You've got the gateworms, the rituals, which are similar to generators, not the exact same, probably where they got the inspiration from. And then you've got the Magua, although it's quite annoying, it's its own boss, and it's very unique. I mean, there's not any boss that is like that. You've got the Panzer where you shoot the helmet off, and you've got Brutus that you can attack. But with the Magua, you've got 3 heads, and he runs at different speeds, and he does different attacks at different heads you're shooting. It's just, you know, overall, and it's just, you know, that map in general. They added the Bootlegger, which is a new weapon, and I feel like that's the one map. The pods as well. Pods, dig sites. Okay, I was gonna say there's not been anything like pods in Zombies. Dig sites, pretty similar, but I feel like it took a lot of things from Origins and other Zombies games. Technically, Origins more often, because of the generators. I don't even know what I'm saying now, but the generators and the dig sites for the rituals and the pods. I've never actually thought about that. That's pretty odd to think, but I don't know, it took a lot of things from Black Ops 2, improved upon it, and as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure I've heard this in interviews as well, Shadows of Evil was the most worked on map from the Treyarch studio ever. That's definitely, well, that's including Black Ops 3, I know it was definitely there, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong at this, but I'm pretty sure they said as well, in terms of all the maps they've worked on, Shadows of Evil was the one that they spent the most time on, because they had the longest development time, I'm pretty sure, for that map, because obviously they had Sledgehammer Games dropping in Advanced Warfare, that we don't really talk about their zombies, but it's weird to think of. They only had 4 maps. One of the DLCs, the first DLC was actually the first Zombies map, I should say, was actually a DLC, which really frustrated me. That was pretty annoying. But yeah, Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil is a very. I'm trying to think of better things to say about it, but I've got Origins stuck in my head. I didn't really like the visuals. I mean, the visuals, the city in the background was very, very nice, but it seemed familiar. Although obviously it's unique. The visuals, and there's nothing really like it before. Unless you want, the closest is probably Die Rise, and even that's nothing like it. But I don't know, it's something about that map that I just didn't really, click onto. But it's definitely the most hype map for me. Either that or the Rising Jack, one or the other. I don't know, you've got this sword as well. That's pretty unique. I mean, that's the closest we got to Takeyo's Katana till Revelations, which, yet again, something we don't talk about. But, Shadows of Evil, very, very odd map. I know I'm going from a tangent here talking about Origins more than I'm actually Shadows of Evil, but, it's just very, very unique and something. Civil Protector as well. Civil Protector as well, that's original. There's nothing like the Civil Protector in Zombies. David Hasselhoff, Zombies in Spaceland, where do you think they got that from? They got that from the Civil Protector, 100%. Civil Protector, very, very unique. I'm not sure if you knew this about the Civil Protector. If you call him in on a Margwa, he actually insta-kills it. Not sure if you knew that.
Oh,
yeah, that's
a
nice little tip for you. But yeah, I digress. Shangri-La, beautiful, the strongest and best, well, technically not the strongest, but the best wonder weapon. So the most beautiful map in my opinion, the strongest wonder weapon. This isn't number 4 by the way. So most beautiful map, strongest wonder weapon. The monkeys are a bit annoying, yes, but they're innovative, and I know they're in Ascension, but it's still pretty innovative. They steal your perks, you can get free max ammos and stuff like that. The perks actually move around, which, uniqueness to it. And one of the first maps to do that, I can't think of one that actually did that before. I'm trying to think in my head. Was there any other map before Shangri-La that moved the perks around? Shinonuma, boom. Shinonuma was the only one, I'm pretty sure. Though, so that was pretty unique at the time. Obviously, we've got like the Giant and maps like that now that have implemented that, Shadows of Evil, stuff like that. But at the time, that was unique. It's also on Mars. Okay, I'm not sure if you knew that. It's on Mars. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Don't care what anyone says. Shangri-La, Shangri-La's on Mars. It had two boss zombies. It had the Shrieker, and it had the napalm zombie. I was going to say lava zombie for a minute, but it had the napalm zombie, which was very unique. The Panga Punch, where you slid down in the water, and it's just something about that map. There's nothing in that map that they copied. They took some things and they did improve on it, I can say that, but they didn't take anything and just stick it in. That map it's in my opinion. This is just my opinion. We're all allowed to have one. If you don't agree with me though, you're just stupid. But in my opinion, Shangri-La is the most unique map out of any Call of Duty map ever. I don't know what it is about that map. If there was a contender, I'd say 5 as well. 5's pretty unique. I don't know any map that's close to 5 in terms of it's in the Pentagon. But, it's something about Shangri-La. It's very, very, very unique. I wish I'd actually named the gun the baby gun and not the 3157 JBZ Mark 5 or whatever they call something weird like that. I know it's not Mark 5, but something weird like that. My throat's going. I'm going off on this much of a tangent. And then Moon.
Yeah, go on. Is that number 5?
Moon is number 5, and Moon is.
Jesus!
I correct myself with Rising Jack. I correct myself with the Rising Jack. Moon is the best Easter egg, 100%, and that's all I'm going to say about that because I'm going off on a tangent. So let's go on to whatever you're going to say. What were you going to say?
Shangri-La. I don't know. I do not like playing that map. Why? I haven't played it that much because it's too close. It's like Verrückt. It's too small. There's no way you can't run past a zombie without getting hit. Like there's no way to move around a zombie. Like the only place I can see you train that seems at least decently open is past the bridge, not on the perk side, on the mud side, but on the the other side of the bridge. That's only where I can fucking see you train. It's probably one of the maps where you have to camp, but I don't like camping. I don't know where do you train?
My highest round on that map's like 37. It's not that high, but burp in there. I train. I can't really say the location of the perk. I was gonna say the drug location, but all the perks switch around. It's
But you spawn in. Speed, just they move across from each other. It's never going to be any other perk but.
Oh, I actually never knew that. Well, thank you for telling me that. That's
locations.
My personal favourite map.
What are you talking about? How do you not know that?
It's my favourite map. It's not the best. I've done it from the best maps in my opinion, but Shangri-La is definitely my favourite. My personal favourite, I should say. But if you spawn in and you look, how do I say this? There's 2 entrances. I'm not sure how I'm struggling to say this. You spawn in. You can go to the left, where you've got the minecart that you can go in. That way. That's a bit of an easier way to describe it. And then you go to the right, where you've got all the spikes. Don't even know. I should have said that. You've got those big spikes where you've got the sand pit as well that makes you go slower. And there's a perk that spawns right near there. I think you know what I'm on about. And that's where I train, just in that little area there. It sounds stupid, but as long as you have the baby gun, and on Black Ops 3, I'm not sure if it works on Black Ops 1, never tried it, but on Black Ops 3, it's not actually that bad as long as you've got the monkeys, so you can escape certain things. You've got the alchemical or catchback, one or the other, something that gives you ammo, and the baby gun. Obviously dead wire and stuff as well can help, but the only problem with that is obviously the baby gun damages you. So.
I'm fine with a map being very close quarters. Just at least give me 1 or 2 places where if I don't want to camp, can I at least train there? I might have to test out where you were talking about, but I just for the simple fact that there's nowhere to train where it'll easily train. You can probably train some places and be fine if you're like a god, which unfortunately I'm not. I'm a god in every other way except for that. Except for Shangri-La. I do love the map. It's not one of the worst maps by far. It's definitely not one of the worst maps. It's actually number 13 on my list.
Ooh, okay. Not bad,
yeah,
not good.
It's beautiful to look at. It's one of the best Easter eggs. And I love the Wonder Weapon also. It's just the simple fact that there's nowhere to train just really ruins the map for me, and I barely play it.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to quickly say, because I know there's going to be people watching this. If you've got this far, round of applause, because, just round of applause. But yeah, I'm going off on a tangent a lot, and a lot of things I'm saying make literally no sense. But it's just because, as Nathan here knows, I've got a terrible memory. So I'm struggling to think of a lot of things about these maps. I'm like, Origins, yeah, Horizon Track, isn't that the same as Origins? Like, I'm struggling to think of this stuff on the spot. So just give me a bit of time. I'll be able to cook some things up. So yeah, I'm just gonna go off on a tangent when we go on about this. But yeah, didn't you want to go on about the worst maps or?
Yeah. What are your worst maps?
My worst maps. Do you want me to say my? I'm not gonna explain them. I think that's too long. Let's be honest. I've been recording now for 55 minutes, although you're probably not gonna see the first bit because I was introing and stuff. But
just give me your top 3 instead of top 5.
I'll give you my top 5. I'm not going to explain them. Okay.
Don't worry. Fine.
21.
Fine.
Last Transit. I don't like that map. A lot of people say Diary, stuff like that. And then we've got Nakdern Toten at number 20.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed the original, but there's nothing to do. Diary's number 19. I used to love that map. It probably would have been 10th. But then a lot of people have said you can fall off, and I've just had a new light shined at me. For that map. I've been watching a lot of videos on it, and they've made some good points. Verrupt, number 18, which is the 4th worst, in my opinion. And number 5, the 5th worst, 17, is Revelations, because it's not unique, it's just every other map. The most unique part about that is the spawn, which is not really great. The spawn's unique, everything else on that map copied from somewhere. So, I don't know, that's my top 5 worst maps. So how about you, Nathan?
21 is Transit. Yes. Number 20 is Zetsubo no Shima. Number 19 is Nocturne Toten. Number 18 is Nuketown, and number 17 is Diarise.
First of all, I'll say Zetsubo was 6th worst. It was 16th Zetsubo for me, because not a big fan of Zetsubo. But why Nuketown? I put Nuketown 13. Why did you put Nuketown so high? I mean, obviously you've got a reason for it. I know it's pretty,
Nuketown
amateur, but
is basically a multiplayer map, so it's not really, designed to be. It would have been better if they expanded, but they decided to keep to the actual multiplayer map, and the multiplayer map isn't very good for a zombies map, and not helped by putting debris everywhere and blocking everywhere in the middle. If the middle was just completely clear, which wouldn't really fit the map because it's blown up town, but if it was just completely clear, it would have been one of the best training spots and it would have been amazing. But they decided to put a bunch of rubble and broken cars and stuff like that all over the place, and you can't train in there. That's probably one of the bad things, but it is a good thing you can train in both back gardens of the house, which I do like training there. But just for the simple fact that the perks take so long to drop in, it is so annoying having to go 15 rounds without Juggernog. I can do it, but it's just annoying. I just want the perks to be there. I don't care if they just like all come down at once and then change every game. Like instead of the garage having quick revive, maybe it has speed cola one game and then the next game it has stamina or whatever. I don't mind that, just not the fact. Don't restrict such a mechanic that is essential on the map. Like don't restrict that when it's the most close quarter map in all of zombies. What else? I'm trying to think. The doors to the house cost a lot of money, which is not that big of a deal. I don't like that fact. I wanted the first.
I mean, the most expensive one I can think is like 2K maybe.
Yeah, I think the first one is 1,000. Like in each of the two houses. I think.
Yeah, but like the spawn room's massive. I mean, compared to any other spawn room, the map's not. But I mean, the spawn's pretty big.
I don't like that there's no wonder weapon there. Oh, I would have liked, you know, at least, I don't know, even if they put the jet gun back in there, at least there was a fucking wonder weapon. It doesn't have to be bad. At least we just want one wonder weapon, which is fine. That doesn't. Yeah, that's in there. But who actually like who actually fucking thinks of the ray gun as a wonder weapon anymore? It's just a normal gun now. I don't mind that there's not a wonder weapon there. That's fine. It's just people, you know, that aren't as good as Moa, the best person on this planet. Like that'll probably be a problem for them. It's just really the fact that the spawn room, they just dumped a bunch of debris in there, and the fucking the perks dropping down. Going 25 rounds or 15 rounds, whatever I said, without Juggernog is fucking annoying. It's just annoying.
That's something I've got to agree with. I want to quickly just interrupt you. Just say one thing.
Go on.
Wouldn't it be cool if it was like Varrocked, and I'm thinking of this now, if instead of you spawning in the middle, if you were playing 4-player, 2 spawned in one garden, 2 spawned in the other.
That would be cool, yeah.
That'd be. I think that'd make the map 10 times better than it. Not 10 times, but it'd make it much cooler, I feel. So if you spawned in, you'd spawn in one of the gardens, you'd have to reset to get your favourite garden with the box or something. Or spawn the box in the middle, and then each two are in the garden. I just think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with your top 5.
Can I just rant about Zetsubo Nishima?
Go ahead. We've got 2 hours.
Yeah. I don't fucking understand how anybody can like this map at all. I don't understand how you can conceivably just like this map. There are good things about it. I understand that the power system is innovative. Yes, it is. But it's shit. It's worse than AIDS. I can understand that you have the KT4. The KT4 is not that bad. I don't really like the upgrading process. It's not too bad. It's not the worst. Well, except for one step. You water a plant underwater.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Underwater. What?
It's like SpongeBob, that.
Yeah. What the fuck? I don't like the look of the map. I saying that I do like the concept of the map. I just think I'm just going to sound like a really weird complaint of the map, but the map is way too green. I know it's set in a jungle, but it's way too green. And it's not a variety of green, it's just the same green.
I agree with you on that, but it's a bit of a weird statement.
It is a weird statement, and it doesn't really make the map bad. It's just there's always the same green. There's no variations of the green.
Just green, light green, dark green. You know,
there's that. It's just the dark green. That's it. That's all you have. It's just.
Well, I mean, there's a bit of light green. The trees, leaves. I mean.
No, they're dark green. I might be getting that mixed up, but whatever.
The trees in the middle near the doors open for the rest of the map that you need to turn on the both power switches for. I'm pretty sure. Whatever. It's set to who. No one cares.
But okay. I have a whole bullet point here. I'm gonna just list them off and then like maybe say 1 or 2 sentences about them. Right. Number 1. Terrible map layout. It looks like a deformed rectangle. It is so bad. Like nothing flows. Saying that it kind of does, but it flows terribly. It does flow, but it flows terribly. Like, it just, there's nothing to it. Like, I'm gonna have trouble describing this. It just doesn't flow right. It does flow, but like one section will lead into 3 different sections, but one section will only lead to 1 or 2. It's like, ugh, whatever. The power system, although innovative, still crap. The thrashers spawn in way too fucking much.
They do.
They spawn, there's 20 of them that will spawn at like around 100 or some shit like that. They spawn in way too much. And the spores can create like 5 of them in one spore. That's not fucking fair. You set off one spore, create 5, and then run past another one, and that one sets off, that'll create another fucking 5. It's fucking annoying. And
10 thrashers with 2 spores.
Yeah. And they can also regenerate their health, which is complete
Eat up some of the zombies, yeah, that's bullshit.
It's complete bullshit. And also, they sometimes will be the easiest thing to kill, and it sometimes be the worst shit thing to kill, because you have to hit the little spores on them, and sometimes the hitboxes on them work perfectly fine, and sometimes they're smaller than my dick. It's very weird.
Are we going to compare dick sizes now?
Yeah, I'm not. The spiders. The spiders.
Continue.
They're popcorn enemies, but they just annoy the hell out of me. The bench where you build.
Who? Sorry, I didn't even.
The spiders. They're just popcorn.
Okay, yeah. Popcorn enemies. Never heard that saying before.
Jason Blundell uses that term, and the team actually uses that term. That's where I learned it.
Does he actually? Okay, fair enough. I've watched a lot of interviews with him. Never realised.
I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Rad Austin or maybe Johnny J. But one of those two, they had an interview and he called the meatballs and the flying things in Shadows of Evil popcorn enemies. The benches where you build like the riot shield and the gas masks are in the worst places. You can't go mid-round and grab a shield without dying. It is impossible. They're in horrible places. The KT4 upgrade is good, mainly just the underwater step. Watering a plant underwater, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
Bunker costing like 10,000 points to open.
It cost 21,000 points to bunker.
21,000 points.
I'm not even joking.
And they had to nerf that twice, and it's still way too expensive. Like, what the fuck?
Did they actually nerf it? I never realised that. I know originally it was 21,000.
They nerfed it twice. Like, it used to be a lot more, and then they nerfed it, and then nerfed it again, and it's still as bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's now. Maybe, probably after, but it was 21,000.
It might not be 21,000 anymore, but it's something like 15,000 or some shit like that, or 10,000.
Still dumb.
Still dumb. You have to complete the Easter egg to get a decent camping and training spot. Like, there's nowhere in the map that is decent. I think outside the bunker, that's where I personally train. I don't know if there's somewhere else that's better, but that's where I personally train. And like the only better training spot is down, where you do the boss fight. That's it. The fact that the marshals only show on this map and no others fucking haunts me to this day. The glitches when it was first released, and even now, the glitches are still shit and don't really affect the actual map, but the fact that they're in there and they're there for day one is just shit. And endless Shrek memes. I can never forgive this map for creating all the endless Shrek memes.
I thought it was quite funny.
That's my rant. That's all I want. I wanted a rant.
What? I am coming. What are you doing?
What are you doing in my swamp?
Anyway, is that your complete rant over?
That's my complete rant.
Okay, is there any other maps you want to discuss, or do you want me to go on to topic number? I don't know what number it is at this point.
I'm fine, unless you want to debate a map or something. I don't know.
Sure. Let's think of a map that we both hate. Oh, one of us hates, one of us likes. So let's go.
Okay.
Mob of the Dead.
Mob of the Dead. I love Mob of the Dead. You hate Mob of the Dead.
The reasons. I'd like to see the reasons you actually enjoy the map.
Okay. One, the concept, like you said, it was one of the best concepts.
Yeah, that
The
definitely.
characters, I think the characters are great. I think the Easter egg is simple and it's involved with the actual way you play the game. All you have to do is 2 or 3 steps that aren't really involved in playing the game. The rest you just do while you're playing. I feel like the steps to get Pack-a-Punch open are just like Shadows of Evil. They're tedious at first, but once you get used to them, they're second nature, and they don't really. And also like they're, especially at the time, they were unique. That was the first time we really had a different type of way to open the pack punch. Like the most complex one we had at that time was Shangri-La, where you just step on pressure plates and that's it. Well, saying it again, Transit had putting a turbine at a door and then that opening pack punch, like a complete separate door, like 5 miles away, and then that open pack punch, which was fucking stupid.
Yep.
So
if you can hear my chair rocking in the background, I just want to.
What else do I like about the map? I love the pack punch camo. I know that's not really anything about the
It's
map.
like Shadows. I'm pretty sure they're the same.
It's like Shadows. Well, Shadows is more like fucking.
I prefer Mob of the Dead than Shadows. I'll be honest. The pack punch at least, not the map, definitely not. But I mean,
I love the cafeteria, that training spot. That was great. Like I mentioned before, apparently training at Double Tap is pretty good as well. I love the Blundergat Easter egg where you can get 2 Blundergats, so you can have the Vidraulic Withering or the Bloodhound, or not Bloodhound. Well, can't remember the normal fucking.
I've got it in my head and I can't.
Much thing. I don't.
Blunderbuss? Is it?
Blunderbuss or no? Yeah,
it's a different weapon.
Blunder something. It's Blunder something. Blundergat. That's it.
Oh no, the Blundergat. The Blundergat's the original version.
Oh, the original, isn't it? Yeah. Whatever. Forget about it.
Who uses it? Acid Gat all the way. Vidraulic Withering, boom boom, my boy.
Yeah. That just makes the map easy. Like the tight corners. If you're just running through a tight corner with that, you can just shoot it and then you're fine. Like I think that weapon negates like the criticism of it's too tight or something. My personal opinion. I actually do love getting the steps to the Pack-a-Punch. Like Shadows of Evil, you do it once, then you're done. All you have to do is just collect the canisters again, and then just refuel the plane. You're off. And then the bridge is one of the best fucking training spots. Brutus, I think, is very easy to kill, especially with the Hell's Retriever, and Hell's Retriever is the best.
The Mark II is easy as well. He's like 2 shots on round 50 something.
Yeah. The Hell's Retriever is great. The Golden Spork is great as well. That's like a 1 knife kill up until like around 40 or something. It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure it's like 28, isn't it? Or is it higher than that?
I think it's higher than that.
Oh, maybe it is. I think I'm thinking of the fist, on the Origins. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Just continue. Don't know what I'm about anymore.
That's really it. I think it's more of a basic map than like any Black Ops 3 map.
Fair enough.
Origins as well. So.
Well, a lot of the things you said there with that map, actually, because I said it earlier, a lot of things I don't really like about the map and a few things I like. But a lot of things you said there, I clicked into my head. I don't like that about the map either, or I like that about the map. So I'll say a few things I like about the map. And then I'll go on about little hatreds of the map. But I like the Pack-a-Punch camo, as you said. I think the Pack-a-Punch camo is very, very similar to Shadows. Bit darker, and I don't know why the orange stands out a bit more. I just prefer it in general, or they're very similar. The bridge, the transition to go from Alcatraz to the Golden Gate Bridge, I think is really, really cool. Like you said, the setting I think is really, really good, and I think I said that earlier as well. But the setting, the scenery, stuff like that, like it's very creepy, which I like. The hanging bodies, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I like how they told us with PhD and Mule Kick. Because like, why Mule Kick, I don't know, but PhD, I thought that's pretty funny. But now the juicy bit. What the
I also like Afterlife as well. Just sorry,
this is the first thing I was going to go on about. One of the first things at least. Afterlife, I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb.
But it's 3 quick revives for the whole. I'm just going to mention this. It's 3 quick revives forever. You have them forever, and it's basically
which I think is good because it challenges you. Mob of the Dead, although it's a hard map, very difficult. I'm terrible at it. But Afterlife just means you get a free quick revive after every round. I think it's pretty OP. I know they put it in because the map's quite OP anyway, but I mean quite hard anyway. Sorry, not OP.
But
Quite
I
difficult
think
anyway.
the counteract to that is Brutus lock and stuff, and when you have to pay for it, you have to turn it back on, so you might lose a life there, and then you have to like come back, and then
Yeah. I feel like it's a good system to add in. I just think for quick revive, replacing that, I think it was a bit dumb. But I feel like it's okay. But I feel like for replacing quick revive, I feel like it's dumb. And the challenge behind the map, it's actually, if you get up a training spot right, it's actually, and I've not attempted this because it takes way too long, it's actually pretty easy to get to around 100. It just takes much longer than most of the maps. So let's say
not really. All you have to do is get the Vitrolic Wither in, and then you're good.
Go on, continue.
All you have to do is get that, and then just train in the cafeteria, and just use the acid trap, and then you're golden. You can get to around 100. It's not that hard.
All I've seen on high round attempts on it, people getting to around 100 and stuff like that. All I've seen is people, they train just outside the cafeteria. Sometimes go in and set off the acid trap, but they train there, and I'm pretty sure you know what I mean by this. And they streams last like 14 hours, something crazy like that, which you may not think that's long, but that's pretty long for around 100. Like Revelations, for example. 3 hours. I think I got to 89, which is my highest in like 2 hours 30. So it's just the difference between them two. I think is really the Hell's Retriever. I'll say something that's pretty cool little thing to add in. But I don't like the fact there's no monkey bombs. Vitrolic Wyvern. I know you're going to say the Vitrolic Wyvern basically is a monkey bomb, more ammo, more useful, and it's better, and I'll agree with that. But I don't know. I feel like some sort of secondary grenade. Although you could class, I guess, the Tomahawk. I can't remember what it's called now.
Are the monkey bombs not in Mob of the Dead?
Nope. There's no tactical grenade. It's the Hell's Retriever is what replaces all the tacticals, which is pretty dumb in my opinion.
Well, I think because the Vitrolic Wither, as you said, acts like a monkey bomb. I think
which I think is good, but it'd be cool to get a monkey bomb. Monkey bombs last longer. Monkey bombs, not last longer, but monkey bombs, have a longer duration until they blow up, and it just makes you be able to escape, and it's not as much splash damage, I don't think. Maybe I'm incorrect about that. Although the Vitrolic Wyvern rarely kills you with splash damage. It's not that heavy on the splash damage, to be honest. You don't really need. It's not a map you need PhD for, although I'd like it. Imagine in the cafeteria, the Vitrolic Wyvern in one hand, you switch out to your other primary, and it's a Mustang and Sally's dual wield. Well, they're always dual wield. 4 Mustang and Sally's. That'd be brilliant. I'm actually getting a call from Toby there, so I'm going to actually delete that. Delete. But yeah, that's I don't know. I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, the Easter egg as well. The Easter egg is something that I hated. I don't know what it was. I thought it was quite cool. When you zap the machine and it goes 666, and or when you type, I think it's 935 or 115, and it's like not this time, and then it like changes to 666. I think that's pretty creepy. The map's vibe's creepy. Like I said, the setting and stuff like that. But the Easter egg itself, in my opinion, if you have the right people, it's too easy. And it doesn't explain that much, although that's a good thing at some stages as well. It obviously doesn't explain that much as well.
That's actually another topic I want to get onto later. If when we're just going into random topics, is something about like Jason Blundell and his creations of maps and stuff like that. But whatever, continue.
No, you can continue with it if you want. Unless is that.
No. I was just going to mention once we're done all the topics, because that's going to be a very long one.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want me to continue or?
Yeah, go on.
This just got very, very awkward. So I was just being called by someone on Skype. I was just do not disturbing my Skype there. But yeah, I think that's basically it. The Easter egg, not a big fan of it. Closed spaces, not a big fan of that. Very claustrophobic, the map. Although I've not got claustrophobia or anything like that. But it's just very claustrophobic, and I don't really like that. I mean, I guess in stuff maybe like World War II, something like that. With other stuff, not played it yet, I can't say too much about that. Maybe that'd be, a style. But I feel like for Treyarch zombies especially, going for that scary style is good. But I feel like that was.
You can't really call Mob of the Dead. Say Mob of the Dead is bad because it's very claustrophobic, and then call Shangri-La your favorite map.
Shangri-La's not claustrophobic. I wouldn't say so.
Oh, there's barely any space to run.
I'd say Shangri-La is definitely more open than Mob of the Dead. That's a fact, in my opinion. There's only the cafeteria, the Golden
cafeteria,
Gate Bridge.
The bridge. You have
the docks are very claustrophobic. Although you don't see it at first, they're still pretty.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's still open enough where you can dodge zombies
But so
if you
is like
can, especially when
Shangri-La.
you're coming up the side. Not really, no. It's very, especially in the two areas beside where the area where you spawn is way too claustrophobic. It's just two lanes basically, and then the middle where
Yeah, but you've got like besides the tunnels and that, you've got the power, pretty big, pretty claustrophobic there. But you've got like the lake, not really that claustrophobic. I mean, I don't know. I see where you're coming from, but I don't know. It is claustrophobic, Shangri-La. I'll say in a way it is, but in my opinion, nowhere near as claustrophobic as Mob of the Dead. And Shangri-La, I don't think went for the horror vibe. I feel like claustrophobia, horror. It just doesn't really work for me. But that's just
in
Mob
Mob
of
of
the
the
Dead. I mean.
Dead, for the claustrophobia, you have at least three things to counteract it. You have electric cherry, you have the shield, and you have the vitrolic withering.
I was
If I
about
can,
to say, you don't have the shield on Mob of the Dead, but you do, you do.
you
I
do.
completely forgot about that for some reason, which I guess is another
Shangri-La,
good
you
thing.
have the baby gun, and that's it, and that's only for forward.
Shangri-La's definitely more difficult. I'll give you that, but I like that about the map. But
Yeah,
it's
I like difficulty as well. I'm not like saying that Shangri-La is bad or Mob of the Dead is best for being difficult. It's just I feel like both of them are just equally claustrophobic in my opinion. I think actually Shangri-La is just a bit more claustrophobic because you don't have that one area to just have relief, and it's just huge like you do with Mob of the Dead with the Golden Gate Bridge, and to a certain degree the cafeteria I think is very open.
well, I guess that was a nice little discussion about more than it. I guess that's as much as I've got. My 2 cents on the issue. Have you got anything you want to add, or is that?
I personally like if you look at Shangri-La and Mob of the Dead, I think objectively, like without my personal opinion or whatever, Mob of the Dead is the better map. But I think objectively, like people think that Shangri-La is one of the worst maps. Objectively, it's not, nowhere near it. I think objectively, Mob of
Objectively.
the Dead, Mob of the Dead has the better story going into the map. Even though Shangri-La's story is great, I think it has the better character. Well, in terms of innovation, it has the better characters. I think it has the better power system. Flipping two switches is really innovative. Oh my god!
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know. Afterlife, I'm not a big fan.
Oh my god! But I feel it did more for zombies than
But
any.
there's two power switches. I mean, you got the original one power switch. You got two.
But two.
It's innovative. There's no. Rip. Okay. Go on, continue.
Let's move on to the next topic. We've been too.
Okay, well, the next topic, and this is something you brought up to me before we did this podcast. I was like, is there any other topics we could do? Because I had a few down, but this is something that Nathan gave to me, and this is you can explain this, and you'll know when I say it to you. It's something about YouTube, a new policy. You can explain it.
Okay, I will explain now. YouTube today, as we're recording this, which is the 3rd of the 8th, 2017, just today updated some policies that they have on their website, where they've teamed up with some what the fuck is it called? The
Coughing in your background. I just wanted to point that out.
Is there?
I can hear somebody coughing. It's not my... Whatever, continue.
I think my chair. But I'll keep my ear out. I think it's the Anti-Defamation League, something like that. And a couple of other programs who... the Anti-Defamation League, if it is the people I'm talking about, classified Pepe the Frog as a hate symbol. So we know who we're dealing with. I've teamed up with them to get guidance on what quote-unquote hate speech is, and are cracking down on supposed terrorist and extremist views on YouTube, and people trying to indoctrinate people into, ISIS and stuff. And if you look up ISIS recruitment videos on YouTube now, I don't think it is live now, but I think it's coming live in the next few days, you will be redirected to victims of ISIS attacks, and you'll be redirected to videos of anti-ISIS videos, just like to persuade somebody that might want to Join ISIS. So that's mainly like the behind it. It's mainly a good thing, but what also they're implementing is if your video is flagged for hate speech and stuff like that, YouTube will look at it, and if they determine that it is actual hate speech, which we don't know what hate speech is, or offensive content and offensive language, if if YouTube thinks you've done all these things, your videos will not show up in recommendation. Your nobody can like, nobody can comment on your videos, and your videos will be demonetized for
Mm.
a certain time. And if YouTube decides, okay, you're fine now, you can make money off this again, then you will. But most likely they won't if they do it in the first place. So it's really a very bad thing, especially for smaller content creators like me and Matt, who don't have a lot of subs.
Mm.
Um, like we're probably going to be affected by this the most because we need our videos in recommendation, and if somebody flags our video for hate speech or whatever and YouTube agrees, we can't show up in recommendation, so we can't show up in your guys' sub boxes. Well, I could show in your sub boxes, but we can't show up in your recommendation. And they say if you're watching another zombies YouTuber, you won't see our content there just because quote unquote hate speech. And the problem with this is, what is hate speech? That's like the big thing that
Yeah,
we need to
because
figure out.
you were saying to me before the podcast that you could say, like, you were, I think the demonstration you said was murderers. If you say something like you hate murderers, that is a hate speech. You're saying that you hate murderers. You're saying bad things about murderers, but that's not a bad thing. It's a hate speech, but not. It's meant to represent good in a way because you're saying something bad about something that is bad. So it's like I could say, I don't know, there's this guy, he goes around punching people. Let's say it's a bit of a weird thing, and I could make a whole rant about him saying like I don't like what he does. That's technically classified as hate speech, but
Yeah.
it's not a bad way of I'm not saying I don't like his skin color, let's say, or I'm not um, getting anything like that. I'm just saying that I don't like what he's doing, and it's an opinion at the end of the day. I mean, it's dumb. It's really really dumb. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you're more into this than I am because obviously I didn't even know this until the start of the podcast that YouTube were doing this. But
Yeah. And the problem, people will probably be like, oh, it's getting rid of hateful people. At the end of the day, we need hateful people because
yeah, criticism.
you need to be challenged. Whether the person is right or wrong, you need to be challenged. I try and challenge myself with my opinions almost every day. I watch YouTubers that I disagree with wholeheartedly, and I watch YouTubers that I agree with on a lot of things, but then some things I'm like, nah. Even Matt, I disagree with him on a
Yeah,
lot of things, but I think that's better because we can have a discussion. If somebody's making a video like, oh, I hate the blacks, get the blacks off of this earth, I don't think he should be taken down. I think mainly he should be, what everybody should do is mock him and disprove his opinions and have a discussion about his opinions and reevaluate in yourself, do you agree with him or not? And maybe you might agree with him, that's fine. Unless you're hurting somebody, then no, it's fine, stop thinking like that. um like, as long as you don't hurt anybody, opinions should be allowed, whether they are the most stupid opinions or probably intellectually the best opinions. Whatever it is, it should be allowed on YouTube. But YouTube has become just like Twitter. You cannot voice your opinion that goes against a certain group, and we know who the certain group is mainly because they bitch and moan the most, and it's always a minority, and you always just have them bitching and moaning, and
yeah.
that's mainly the reason why this is happening. And I know me and Matt, we've barely been on this planet for that long, but it's just so disheartening to see how it's going. Like, it's just very stupid. Even in my school, and you can't say anything without offending somebody, and it's so annoying. I thank God I have personal friends who don't think like that, so it's great. And well, I have one friend that thinks like that, but we just pat him on the head and say, okay, you think like that. But it is kind of scary. But we are also having the blowback, especially now that we're living in the time of Reddit and 4chan, where it's not PC at all, and it's some of the worst things you can think of. Some people have said, and I witnessed. It's like, oh God, like, ooh. But what are your opinions on it, Matt? I've gone on it way too long.
Opinions on the YouTube policy.
Yeah.
Basically, the biggest part about that, like I said, I don't know as much as you, because you brought it to my attention. But the biggest part about that is, like, I think I gave this to you as well before the stream. But I could say something like, I could be streaming and somebody might be like, what's your opinion on feminism? And I might be like, feminism, in my opinion, I don't really agree with a lot of things they say, although a lot of things I agree with. I don't agree with a lot. And then just because, there's a few feminists that watch my videos, let's say, they may flag my videos, and then it's going to get out of recommended. It's going to get, and if enough people do it, it'll get out of recommended, likes, comments, all that will go, just because a few people disagree with what I have to say. I disagree with that completely. It's the fact that people can choose to do something. Like, I could say something, even if it was rude. I mean, to have your video taken down, I mean, if there's certain things, yes, your video should get taken down for that. But if you're just spreading an opinion,
like violence and stuff.
Yeah, if you're saying join ISIS today, something stupid like that, then yeah, that's dumb. But I mean, I've just said it. No, my video's gonna get no. But it's something stupid like that where they'll just take it, not out of context technically, although technically they can. But it's just, it's if you don't agree with my opinion, that's fine. But you shouldn't get punished for having an opinion. Me and you, we sit down and talk about, like, it sounds weird, but like we talk about like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and we both disagree. I'm not going to go on about what we're talking about and stuff like that, but we both disagree and agree with a lot of things. We were talking about like politics and stuff like that, but I'm not going to like get angry at you. You're not going to get angry at me just for having a different opinion. We share our opinions. Like in this podcast, we were talking about Mob of the Dead.
Yeah, like I'll probably.
Opinion. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to kill you.
I said my opinion. You said your opinion. Yeah. That was fine. Like, I think the only time somebody said, like, if you disagree with me, and I think it was you're stupid, it was a complete joke. Like,
oh no, I said that in this podcast, but that
that's what I mean. Like, did I say stream? I think I said stream. I said podcast, but it's like, this is healthy, in my opinion. Me and him disagreeing on, like I said before with Gora Crovey, that was my 3rd favorite map ever of all time, and now it's like my 7th. Like, just from watching the video and just going, oh yeah, I don't like that either.
But just because you disagree, you're not going to flag his video or dislike, or
Well, like, there was some things like Zetsubo Nishima was over Gora Crovey. He thought Zetsubo Nishima was better than Gora Crovey, and I was like, no, sir, you're wrong. But I didn't go flag his video. And there's people like Philip DeFranco. This is where I heard all this news from. I disagree with him on a lot of things. The only reason I'm subscribed to him is because I find him interesting, and I trust that he's giving me the truth. And if he doesn't, he'll correct himself. That's why I watch him. That's why I don't watch the news or anything like that. Because they 99%, whether it's the right or the left, they will not give you the 100% truth most of the time. That's why I watch Phil DeFranco. Even though I disagree with him on a lot of things, I trust that it's the truth, and he does give his opinion, but when he's reporting the news, I feel like it's the truth, and I can believe in it, and I know if he is wrong, he will correct himself.
Shout out to Philip DeFranco, I guess.
Yeah, if you're watching, man, love your face.
The chances of that rare, but I mean, if you are watching,
very slim.
Don't flag the video.
Yeah, for disagreeing with me, but yeah. Don't know where I was going with that. But,
I've just lost my train of thought completely.
Frankly, all I want to say is listen to the other person's opinion. Don't just flag the video. Don't just say, "Oh, I disagree." Click off the video, even if he's like Sean Spice, or do you know who he is?
No.
No, he's like the neo-Nazi that is like hail Trump and stuff like that, and he got punched in the face a couple of months
Okay.
back. I watched an interview with him. Don't agree with him on a lot of things, but I watched an interview with him, and it enlightened me on a lot of things. I don't think he's like the smartest man, but and I don't agree with him on a lot of things, like I said, but I was open to listening to him, and I got a new insight in how he thought. I disagreed with the outcomes he came to, but
Yep.
I do agree with some of the things he said. But and mainly what he said during that whole thing, and what most people think of him is just a racist bigot that just goes around saying that he hates this, he hates that, with no rhyme or reason. But what I got from that stream was somebody that thought about what he believed in, and he came to conclusions after hearing facts and stuff like that. Maybe they're not facts, but what he heard, he ultimately came down to his own opinion, and shares his opinion. But what I feel most people do, especially nowadays, is they go with consensus, and they see, oh, they go just by offending people. If somebody's offended, even if it's like a murderer, if he's offended, and it's mainly if he's not white, but whatever, well, that's another discussion. But if they're offended, that's the only thing that matters. Whether they're right or wrong, it's they're offended. That's what people get angry. If you've offended somebody, then you're in the wrong. Whether you offended them because it was a murderer and he murdered your family, and you're like, that was a wrong idea. I fucking hate you for doing that. Oh, that offended me. And then everybody comes in on the end just because he's offended. Like, you can't offend anybody anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I love the internet, because you can offend people and be like, hey, fuck you, nigga.
I actually, it reminds me, because this was ages ago, but this stupid stuff that happened all the time, because I was talking to somebody about football. I used to be a fan of football, or soccer, if any Americans are watching. Soccer. You don't kick it with your socks, you kick it with your foot. Okay. But also, I want to say, for anyone in the comments, okay, if you're from America, I don't want to go off on a tangent. Why is it called American football if you use your hands? Okay, I'm going to leave you with that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Why is it called football? Actually, it's not called American football in America. It's just called football. But I digress. But I would. This actually happened to me, and a lot of things like this have happened to me, and I'm sure they have with you, where I've had somebody get really, really angry because, like I said, with football, I support. Well, I still do, but I don't watch football at all anymore. Like, basically at all. Don't follow it. Don't know all these transfers or anything. But I supported Chelsea Football Club. I'm not sure if you know who they are. And then somebody else supported Liverpool, which is another football club, and they almost got into a fight with me because I disagree. I thought they were a terrible team. Like, it's stuff like that. It's my opinion. Listen to my opinion. Don't have a go at me. Don't get angry because I think something different to you. I mean, I know that's a little way of putting it. I mean, you could say a lot of things about, like, you've been talking about neo-Nazis and stuff like that. But I mean, it's little things like that as well. That your video could technically get flagged for just disagreeing with someone in that way. If what you're saying and what you've heard is true, that's just
most likely. If it's dealing with media, like video games or something, you probably won't. Like, I'm not saying that we will, but there is a slim possibility that me and Matt and others that, like, I'm not afraid to share my opinion on my channel, and especially other people. I'm not afraid to share my opinion, and that's where I'm most worried about. But it's not really with, like, video games or something. Video games won't be affected, but just like the broad sense of doing like a top 10 on a video, that if somebody mass flag that, you probably won't get like demonetized or anything. You'll just you'll be fine. But it's just mainly for people that share their opinion that some people might think is extreme or extremist and think is hate speech or whatever. That's where you're going to get in trouble. So yeah, this could be even flagged for hate speech, just because we disagree with people not wanting to. We want free speech. Yeah.
Don't flag me, Nathan. Don't flag me.
We essentially want free speech, and that's offensive to somebody, so that's hate speech. So there we go. That's like literally some of the logic that people come to.
Oh, oh god, I just
Just calm down there. Calm down.
I just knocked my mic out. I was like doing a lot of hand gestures, but
Ooh.
yeah, I disagree with ginger people. Like who ginger? Not a big fan. not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. See, someone's not gonna realise I'm ginger and they're gonna flag this.
Yeah, it's just like flag.
Yeah, just gonna make 8 accounts just flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit dumb, and I don't like what YouTube are doing with adding all these small things in. But as far as I'm aware, YouTube's still growing strong, and it's not. I don't think it'll affect it that much, but for certain people, I feel like it will, and it's a bit dumb. Like you said, I'm not afraid to give my opinion, but I feel like I'm not gonna get this happen to me. I don't think I've got enough people that watch and come in to make this happen. It sounds like I'm defending myself in a way, which I kind of am. But I think you went on about this. Maybe you didn't. Maybe I misheard. But me and you haven't got the biggest sub count ever. I've got 1,100 and.
Oh yeah, you have 1,000 subs. I always forget about that. I was still stuck where you're like at 600. I don't know why, but I always when I think of your channel, it's just 600. But continue.
I look at people I look at like people like Cookie and stuff like that. I'm like, he's at 1,000 subs. I wish I could get there one day. I'm like, I am there. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Do you know? It's weird stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I got raided and it was that quick that I didn't realise. Maybe. And you're at 530. You've got quite a lot of subs recently, though.
Yeah, I gained 7 subs in a week where I did 2 live streams on the same day. Like, it was mad. Like, I don't understand. Thank you. Then I lost 3 subs. Oh, then I got them back. Actually, I need 1 more sub to get back. So please, guys, help me.
Sub to him, okay? I'm going to leave... By the way, I don't think I've actually said this throughout the entire stream, and I know you introduced yourself, but I'm going to leave Nathan's link, Vanced, if you want to go by his YouTube name, in the description below. I don't think I've said that. This has probably went over an hour now, and I've not said that this entire podcast. I keep saying stream, this entire podcast. So I'm going to leave his link in the description below. I definitely consider checking him out. We do a lot of videos together, and a lot of videos apart. We're very similar. We do live streams now and again. I think I do more live streams.
Oh yeah, you definitely do. Yeah.
But
I do a live stream every single Saturday.
I'm gonna try to stop.
I actually missed last
not as much. But yeah, are you gonna start up your podcast again? Because I know Nathan actually does a podcast, the Advanced podcast.
Advanced podcast. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna start back up.
Definitely check out Nathan. He does content similar to me. I'd say better. I mean, streams he does do from PlayStation. Nathan, you need to get OBS.
My Elgato's broken. I can't do it from there. I'm sorry.
But, yeah, my OBS is terrible at the minute. It lags really, really badly. I don't know what it is. It might just be my laptop. I think it's my laptop that just makes it. It's 720p, but I had to downscale the resolution massively.
Yeah, I need.
But yeah, if you watch his funny moments, my funny moments, his are much better. He puts more time into his. But yeah, I'd definitely go over and check Nathan's channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to check him out, you would have already done that. But I'm just gonna, put it out there as well because I know I've not said it throughout this entire podcast. So check that out. Okay.
You just you go back to edit out the start and you've mentioned it like 5 times. You're just like, fuck, I had to shout him out again. Damn it.
I don't agree that you shouted him out.
Yeah, hate speech.
Flag. Anyway.
Spam. Too much spam.
Also, this is going to be a topic I'm going to leave it up on unless we go on about anything else, but I'm pretty sure this will be the last kind of topic. I just wanted to talk to you about E4C. Really. What do you think of it? Because I think it's really... Because last year they $100,000, not pounds. I think it's dollars.
I think 120 this year. 120,000.
Is that what they're going for?
No, I think that's what they're going to get. 120,000.
Oh, you're gonna. Oh, we're doing an estimation, so you're gonna go 120.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I'm not gonna go 170. That's way too big. I'm gonna go 153,000.
53,000. Okay.
So whoever's the closest, we'll just see whoever's the closest.
Yeah.
With that estimation.
So last year, I absolutely loved. I've watched the Mr. T X5's version. I've only watched Mr. T X5's version, but I've watched that twice, like the 7-hour stream twice over. I absolutely loved it last year. That was the inspiration for BAZ, also known as Baz, also known as Best Zombies.
Yeah. See, I want to do that again. If no one knows, I'm gonna just if no one knows, okay. Me, Nath. I'm gonna try to name everyone here, and I've got a bad memory, so if I forget anyone,
I'll name them if you want.
Yeah, go on. Okay, what I'll do is I'll name them, and if I forget anyone, which I probably will, just correct me. Just correct me.
Okay.
But we did a little event. I'm actually gonna leave the video, although it was a fail. I'm gonna leave it in the description below. I think that would be quite cool. But it was called Best at Zombies, and it was there was 2 people on each team, and we just did a little leaderboard, little challenges. It was basically an E4C without charity, and it was just fun. Just a little fun game between friends and stuff. Sorry, what?
All donations go to us.
Yeah, all donations. I don't even think I had donations on then. I got donations like a month after Chronicles came out. So.
Well, list them, good buddy.
Okay, so we have Zzord and Nova, which were Team Misty's tits.
No, me and Brian were Team Misty's tits.
Oh, you just spoiled Brian, man. I was gonna. Okay, what were they? Oh, Team Fog or Bus Robbie. I don't know, but I'll name all the teams after. But there was Zzord, Nova, Brian, Nathan. Sorry.
Yes.
Nathan. There was me and Toby, Sawtooth. There was Jamie and Cookie. Nearly forgot Cookie for some reason. So there was Jericho, Neon Cookie, and then there was I'm forgetting.
That was it, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was Tristan not there. I thought Tristan was there.
I don't think so.
Was it?
Who else would Tristan be with? Yeah, it was Team Fog.
Oh, there was 40. Yeah, okay, there was Team Misty's Tits.
Misty's Tits.
Which was you.
Yeah.
Team Last Gen Richtofen, which was me and Toby. Yeah. Team Bus Route B, which I don't know who that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Team Fog Rolling In, which was Nova and Zzord. So I'm guessing Team Bus Route B was Majerican and Cookie. I think they changed it at the end, actually, but I know it was originally Bus Route B. Or Bus Route. I say Route, I don't even say... or Route. What do I say, Route or Route? I think I say Route, Bus Route B, yeah.
I think it's a Route as well.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just going off on a tangent here. But garage or garage, quickly? Just.
Garage.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. But yeah, that's something I'd like to do
when
again.
I'm mentioning, like, the things at the side of the house, I say garage. But when I'm saying, like, I'm going down to the garage. But normally, that's only when I'm, like, consciously talking. But when I'm not talking, I say garage, no matter what.
It's chips, not fries, okay?
Yeah.
Biscuits, not cookies. But yeah, I would love to do something like Baz again. I think the name's quite cool. Like, it's a bit cringy. I don't really like the word cringe, to be honest. But I think it's quite cool. Cool little name. But I don't know. I'd like to do something like that again. If we could all get together, just don't have a host or something. Just like a little event. Like don't even hype it up. Don't do anything like that. Just 4 teams just doing a quick. Well, I say quick. It'll probably be like 7 hours long. But it'll be like a a little event. Just I don't know. Just congratulate us all for being on YouTube.
And hopefully
something.
Hopefully before I have to go back to school and before World War II's beta, which is on the 25th.
Which I've pre-ordered World War II. Not sure if you have.
So I've told you this before, but I have, and I have a bad memory. Stop. I know you don't have to tell me.
I say that all. I've probably said it like 8 times this stream. You spammed flag in your video.
Hashtag hate speech to your wards, or elf.
It's gonna be a meme on my channel. Just flag it. I'll be in a stream. I'll say something. Hello. I don't agree with you saying hello. Flag.
If someone comes into your stream, hello, banned. Do you remember? Do you still have biscuits banned?
No, the only word I have banned now is a fidget spinner.
Oh, good man.
I don't know why. I used to have ginger band.
I'm not surprised.
Did I actually have biscuits band? I can't remember that.
Yeah, you told me you had biscuits band.
Did I actually? Okay, I probably said that and I just forgot on the spot. But I know I used to have ginger band and I had to unban it.
It's in your video. It's in one of your videos. With that, me and you did. You know it is.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm dumb. Did I also tell you I have a bad memory?
What?
Anyway,
yes, you have.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that's going to be it, unless there's anything else you want to add.
Could I just say, maybe I kind of want your opinion. Sorry, moving around. I don't hate Jason Blundell, but I really don't like how he prioritizes the story over gameplay.
Yeah.
I really feel, especially like with turns and things like that, I really wish he would have added in-game modes. And the only reason he gave not to do so was it didn't fit with the story. Like, I hate stuff like that. I hate how he doesn't add in things just because it doesn't fit into the story. Like, with perks, they weren't added in because of the story. They were added in just to make the gameplay better. And then when we got the story, it was worked in, and we found out how the perks were there. Like, what's your opinion about it? We can make this like very quick. I just want your opinion on it.
No, we can go on about it if you want. The one thing I'm actually kind of glad you brought it up, because the one thing I don't like about this whole situation, and this is kind of going off what you're saying, maybe going off on a bit of a tangent as well. I don't want to go for too long, obviously. I want you to have your say as well. But for me, I didn't like Black Ops 3, especially. Black Ops 2, thought was okay. He took off, and he took over, I should say. And he didn't do that bad of a job. He did his own storyline, obviously going back off what Jimmy Zielinski did. But Jason Bladell, they both start with J, the name, whatever. But I don't know why I brought that up. JJ, there you go.
Ow. Sorry, go on.
Ow. But yeah, so I didn't like in Black Ops 3, where it was Gorokrovi, where we started actually hearing Dr. Monty. Like, it was mysterious.
Yeah,
I wish they kept him that way. But they just brought him in. Like, we never heard of Dr. Monty before, not really at least, until, well, besides the Gobblegums, we didn't properly hear of him until Gorokrovi. Obviously, we Gobblegums, and we had, like, the notes and ciphers, stuff like that. But we didn't actually hear of him up until Gorokrovi. And then when we saw him, and besides all the memes about him looking homeless and stuff like that, I don't know, the fact that he looks mortal, he's meant to be this god-like character, and they just brought him into the storyline. It's just, I think, I'm going to say pardon my French, but Dr. Monty, he came in, and he says this in some of his quotes, but he fucked everything up, in my opinion. I don't know what it is about Dr. Monty. He came in, I'm not using the right words here, but he came in technically in Gorokrovi, obviously he was in the Gobblegum, when he made the Gobblegum machines and that, but then they were like, oh, guess what? I made the drops. I made the perks, and we never knew that up until that point. They just said, you know what, screw it, let's just make Dr. Monty be for all this. You know what, oh yeah, I can see you wherever you go, oh what, I can do this, I can do that, and it just got really, really annoying, because it was only Revelations of Gorokrovi we really got this, and mainly Gorokrovi, to be honest, besides the little notes on, like, shadows and stuff like that. So, I don't know, I'd like to hear your 2 cents on the issue, but for me personally, I'm not, a big fan of them just bringing in Dr. Monty as a character. I mean, there's a lot of things as well, like Revelations. I want to play with the original stuffs, man. But yeah, go ahead.
I really feel like Jason never gave us an answer, especially with Revelations.
Going so fast, and you're just go on, continue.
He never gave us an answer. Like, obviously he did, like who Peter McKay was, who showed up for like 15 seconds.
What
and
happened to Peter McKay?
He died in Gorokrovi. Do you know at the opening cutscene you grab onto him?
No, but like we didn't see his body. We didn't.
He probably dies.
Probably, yeah. See, we don't know.
Yeah. Maybe Shinonuma is in Gorokrovi, and that's where he parachutes and lands.
Don't do that.
They don't. He doesn't answer anything. Like Revelations, we did get a lot of revelations, but.
Hello?
Get out!
Okay. I think we've lost a Nathan, ladies and gentlemen. Hello?
Hello?
Is that a Nathan I can hear?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Is this
I guess you had your mic muted.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we just lost you for a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Continue.
Yeah, he didn't reveal anything. Like, there's nothing satisfying about Revelations and the ending to Revelations. Unless you think there is.
I mean, I agree with you. There's nothing. It was what? It was like all that for like a 12-second cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty annoying.
I don't agree with people thinking like, oh, it should have been 12 minutes long. Like, it
Well,
was
that's
fine.
stupid. But I mean, I would have liked it to be 12 minutes long. But I mean, it's a bit.
Yeah. But I don't know. It wasn't satisfying. Nothing was really satisfying at the end of the day of Black Ops 3. I love Black Ops 3, but there was nothing really satisfying at the very end.
The story in Black Ops 3 was a bit of a shit show in general.
Yeah.
To be honest, it started off well, and then when it got to Grogrov, it just was like, you know what? Let's just Dr. Monty does everything. Let's just Dr. Monty added the Panzer in. Dr. Monty like. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, and you may not know this. In one of the radios, he actually, because we all thought the Germans made the Panzer, I'm pretty sure he says he made a lot of the boss zombies, like a lot of the, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in that. I'm sure I've heard something like that from somewhere. But anyway, I think we're going to end it here. Nathan, yeah. I appreciate you for coming on to the first episode of the
God bless you,
the well-named podcast, the brilliantly named podcast,
CODAHOLIC podcast, no.
The PP podcast.
How is it a PP podcast when it's CODAHOLIC podcast? That's the 2 P's.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's CODAHOLIC podcast.
Well, no, it's called the CODAHOLIC. It's called CODAHOLIC podcast. But then, oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's... We've gone over this.
Okay, from now on, we're going to name it the CODAHOLIC podcast.
CODAHOLIC podcast.
Oh, technically, I'd have to name it the PPP.
Yeah.
And then just PPP, because I couldn't name it podcast, otherwise it'd be the CODAHOLIC podcast. What we got? Anyway, so Nathan, I appreciate you for coming on. I'm going to leave his link in the description below. Go check him out. He's Irish, you need to do it, okay? Just
Yep.
You need to.
I will grant you a pot of gold and some Lucky Charms.
The worst stereotype, okay? Just... Have you ever had Lucky Charms? I've never had them. I know. No, they're like America. Or do you not know what I'm on about? The breakfast cereal.
Go on. Yeah, I do. I said no.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear what you said. I'm hearing you out my speakers. I've not got headphones on.
And people don't want to hear my voice anymore.
Anyway, do you want to do my outro? You know my outro?
Yeah, sure. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe, like. Thank you. Uns goodbye. I'll be the same.